I wanted to talk to you about senior day. I mean, you come in here with these guys. First of all, did you go to prep school?
I did not. I came direct.
So you came direct. But you come in here with these guys. Some are at the prep school, some come direct, and you bond right away because the hard deal of plebe summer. And for you guys, it was a little harder than normal.
Yes, sir.
Can you kind of take yourself back to that time?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it feels like yesterday. And I really can't believe that this is going to be my last, home game at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium. And I'm extremely excited, to play that game, to go out and play one more game with my brothers. But yeah, going back to, plebe year, it was rough. Started with COVID, that awkward season and
games being postponed or canceled.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it was just kind of a fight, for each and every one of us, in our own rights. But at the end of the day, right, it's the brotherhood. Like you talked about, we've been through a lot of tough things, but we've come together, and we're one group, one team, and we're excited, to get after ECU this weekend.
So you lost some guys. There were, I think, 52 total players in the class. Now you're down to 25 that are remaining. What can you say about these guys that stuck it out? Because no one could blame the guys that left. I mean, I couldn't imagine being here at the academy as a plebe, going through COVID, lockdowns, all of what it involved. What do you think about these guys that stuck it out?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these guys, the seniors still here, they're tough. I mean, there's some tough dudes. We've been through it all. And like you said, like I've said, we've bonded together in these tough times. And that's what created that brotherhood, that love for each other. And that really drives us forward and keeps us together and keeps us here and keep, coming to work each and every day, getting better. And like I said, ultimately get as many wins as we can, like we can this weekend.
So I do a podcast with former Navy quarterback Keenan Reynolds, one of the all-time greats, and he talks about never lost to Air Force, never lost to Army, regularly winning 10, 11 games, going to bowl games. You all haven't had that experience. It's been some losing seasons and a coaching change. Can you talk about dealing with that? I mean, it's not what any of you had hoped for coming in.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Coach Newberry said it best. He said, "Don't let success get to your head, and don't let loss get too close to your heart." Mm-hmm. I think I quoted him right, but I mean that says it all, right? You lose, it doesn't mean you lost. You learn from it, and then you come to work the next day. And that's what we've done here, and we've done that on a consistent basis, and we control what we can control. And that's our effort, attitude, and toughness. And that's something that I can say about this senior class is they're a bunch of tough dudes who have elite, in everything we do, on and off the field.
So you're going to be getting your service assignment later this week. What are you hoping to get?
Yes, sir. So I'm hoping to get Navy pilot. That's what I put first. Okay. So,
right.
Yeah.
What as you enter the fleet and become an officer, do you think there's a lot you can take from your Navy football experience that will help you be a leader in the naval service? Absolutely.
I mean, coming out here and coming to work each and every day, Coach Brown says it all the time in our meeting room, the rent's due every day. Whether, you went 1-0 last play or last game, or you went 0-1 last play or last game. You got to come to work and you got to control what you can control. And the rent's due each and every day, and I think that'll carry forward, in the fleet, coming to work each and every day, learning our enlisted, and essentially, becoming and building a team, and defeating the enemy.
So what about you personally? There's been some ups, downs. You've been a starter, then you've gone back, then up, and I mean, you went through it this year alone, where you were down on the depth chart, and then you've battled back, and now you're seeing more playing time again. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, just control what I can control. And so, if the coaches, they move me position at the beginning of the year, I honestly didn't see it coming, but, you take it in stride and you learn the new position and you do your best and you encourage your teammates. And again, like I said, we come and we work at each and every day, no matter what position, no matter if you're on special teams only, no matter, if you're a starter or not, you got to bring the energy, bring the juice, because it's contagious. And we come out here, just try to be 1-0.
Doing a little story about senior day and all of what goes into it. And you're an interesting case. You haven't played as much as you would have thought you would during your career, but you've stuck it out. Why?
Sure. I think at the end of the day, it's about the brotherhood and the guys. I think for me, over the 4 years, I kind of went from worried a lot about football to these are my best friends out on the team, and a lot of people get quit, a lot of other people got cut. So for me, I was like, why would you quit? Even if you're not playing as much as you'd like to, stick it out with the brothers, and I'm so glad I did. It's been an unbelievable experience. Play football here, so it's been great.
So even with all of what you've gone through, the COVID as plebes, the losing seasons, a coaching change, you still take positives?
Sure. I mean, I think it's the game of life. It's football. My high school coach told me that growing up. So many lessons you can learn from football, and for me, the academy, I think sets you up for life, but also for service too. I think I'd be doing a disservice to my future self, my future children, and the people I'm going to serve with if, just because I'm not getting it the way I want to with playing, you quit. So I think there are a lot of life lessons I've definitely learned. Not playing as much as I'd like to, but I wouldn't change it for any other way.
So I see you've got an injury right now. That's part of why you're not being able to play. What are you trying to do? What are you trying to do to contribute to this team as a senior?
I think it's just attitude and everything. I think a lot of people come in, not necessarily here, but if someone comes with a bad attitude, it kind of drains the energy and an environment wherever you are. So for me, it definitely stinks being hurt. But if you come in with a good attitude, try to make other people positive, that's kind of my role right now, and something I'm really trying to embrace.
So you come from an academy family. Your father is an academy grad. Your brother's an academy grad. Part of that, can you talk about what that means and how that led you here, and how I would imagine that's part of why you stuck it out with the football team. I don't think your father and brother would be appreciative of hearing you quit.
Sure, 100%. My dad played football here in the late 80s, early 90s. My brother Connery did as well. And a big part of the reason I came here was for them. Also, they played 4 years here too. I played 4 years, and I think for me there's no way I'd be able to quit and be able to look them in the eyes. That was definitely a big part of it too. I think it's just really special to be a Navy football player. I think that kind of gets lost in the grind of school and every day here. Even for myself, sometimes I wake up and I'm like, damn, I don't really want to go do this. Mm-hmm. But I look back 4 years when I had the opportunity to, when I wanted to come play here, I got to think like, wow, it's really, really cool opportunity. So I think to quit or, just give up on that would be a waste of your talent,
What are you hoping to get for service selection?
Put Navy pilot first.
Okay, that's the third guy I've heard that. Xavier McDonald said that earlier today on the Zoom. And Eavan just said it. 3 guys.
We've got a lot of guys trying to do it. I think there's 7 or 8 of us.
Usually it's a lot more Marine Corps guys in Navy football.
Yeah, it is. Right. But it's cool.
Right. Eli, you've really kind of come out of nowhere. Talk about how have you advanced from plebes year when you were on the scout team, obviously, to now having such a contributing role?
I think the opportunity as a freshman with spring ball it's huge. You get a ton of opportunities, going against the ones, and that's where you see a lot of kids kind of establish themselves after freshman year. They don't really do much their first, the first real season, the fall season, but once spring rolls around, they have a chance to make some plays and show the coaches what they can do. And I think I did that during the spring. I think I set myself up to have a good fall camp and kind of come in and earn a starting job.
So you're a little bit different than a typical Navy slot back. A lot of people, most Navy slot backs look more like Amin Hassan. That's kind of been the mold over the years. But sure. I think the coaching staff wants to move away from that because they know in this day and age where you can't cut block on the perimeter, now you got a straight up block, you need bigger body. That's part of why Anton Hall got moved out there. But can you talk about you're a little bit different mold?
Yeah, I'd say I was a traditional, I was a wide receiver in high school. So, I developed, my skills are a little bit different than I'd say most of the other A's played running back in high school. So they're, a little bit better maybe with the ball, and I'd say I'm, more dynamic in the passing game. So I'd say that's the main difference I have compared to most of them, is that I was a wide receiver in high school. I think it just, it makes for a more balanced player. Coming from that background, I think it allows me to have a lot of different skills at the position.
Did they tell you they were going to recruit you as a slot right from the get-go, or did you get moved to slot after you got here?
They did. Coach Yokitis was always very open about the fact that I was going to come here and play slot. So.
Right. And what did you think? What has been the transition? What's the difference? I mean, it's a lot of, you're handling the ball, you're taking a pitch. I mean, you've got great hands. I imagine that's what they look for.
Yeah, it's a really unique position. I'd say there's not many other positions like it in other offenses in college football. I really do think we do everything from catching passes. Obviously, we get the ball a lot in our hands, pitches, and then we have the chance to go block linebackers and corners and safeties. It's a really unique position. We get to do a lot of cool things, and I'm loving it so far.
How would you describe your running style? Because you're kind of unique. You combine, you've got the juke ability. You can, put your foot in the ground and make quick cuts, but you also have a little power to you. I've seen you drag defenders or break tackles. Can you talk about what do you feel your running style is?
You know, I try not to slow down too much. When I do try to make someone miss, it's usually just with one cut or one plan. I'm not, you know, shaking or spinning too much. I'm trying to, you know, keep moving forward. And then when, you know, a few defenders come around me, I like to just, you know, keep moving my feet, get the extra yards. You know, I'd say a lot of the other dudes in the position room, they're a little more shake than I'd have, but I'd say I just like to put one foot in the ground and move forward.
And how have you done with the blocking part of it? And I mean, that's a big deal. As we've talked about, the slots you used to cut all the time. It was a completely different animal. Now you're having to block straight up. How are you doing with that?
You know, I'm embracing it. I think I've gotten a lot better. It's definitely a skill you have to learn over time. All the leverage pieces to it. That's something we've really been focusing on recently is leverage. It's hugely important on the perimeter, making sure we're getting proper leverage with where we place our head, where we place our hands. It's definitely a skill that you work on over time, and I definitely think I'm improving. So.
Well, you've clearly, I mean, obviously you're getting better with every game, as you would expect playing varsity for the first season. I've got to feel like you believe that your ceiling is pretty high. You know, 2 years from now you're going to be a senior. That's a lot of football between now and then. Do you feel like you've got a lot of room to grow?
You know, I'd say the main thing is I have a lot of time, and you know, with that time I can continue to develop, work with the strength coaches, you know, get faster, stronger, you know, come out to the field by myself, get a little footwork in. I just think I have a lot of time in front of me, and I, you know, use it all to just become the best player that I can become.
So I talked to Alex Tesco when I did a story on him earlier in the season, and he said that you committed first, but you had gotten offered second. Mm-hmm. Do you take responsibility for Alex Tesco being here?
I always joke around and say that I do. You know, I always mess with him. I think it pushes his buttons a little bit when I say that, just a little bit. But I mean, that's my guy. I can, you know, mess with him a little bit. But you know, I would say I definitely had a small influence on him. I was always kind of, you know, working with Coach O, trying to get him here.
In his ear a little bit, yeah.
Yep, exactly. And you know, what I would say ultimately is his decision. And he was always talking about how much he loved it. And I think just, you know, having, you know, one of his friends from high school made that decision a lot easier.
So what led you to the Naval Academy? Why did you choose to come here?
There was a mix of things. It was always a school I was interested in. Service was always something that I, you know, kind of thought about. But, you know, I knew I wanted to play football in college, so just being able to combine those two, come here, you know, obviously a fantastic program with a lot of history, and then I had some family members serve too. So it just all kind of came together. Sat down with my parents and we were like, this is this place for me to be. So
what were some of the other offers you had?
You know, I was not super heavily recruited after my junior year. I'd say I had a solid season. I think I had an offer from Davidson and some other small schools. I gained some preferred walk-ons from Penn State, Pitt, not Pitt, sorry, West Virginia after my senior year. But you know, I wasn't super heavily recruited before my senior season.